Let's take a journey through the life of Michael Jackson, from his humble beginnings in Gary, Indiana, to his tragic and untimely death. This is the story of a pop culture icon whose influence still resonates around the world. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, the eighth of 10 children in the Jackson family. His father, Joe Jackson, worked as a crane operator, but he had big ambitions for his children, especially when he noticed their natural musical talent. It wasn't long before Joe formed a family band, the Jackson 5, and put his children on the path to stardom. Michael quickly stood out from his siblings with his remarkable voice, charisma, and uncanny ability to connect with the audience. Despite being the youngest, he became the lead singer of the Jackson 5. By 1968, the group had caught the attention of Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records, and their career took off. Their first four singles, I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There, all shot to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. As the Jackson 5's popularity began to wane, Michael was already looking ahead to his solo career. He released his first solo album, Got to Be There, in 1972, and continued to experiment with his sound. But it wasn't until the late 1970s, when Michael teamed up with producer Quincy Jones, that his solo career truly took off. The partnership between Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones would prove to be one of the most important in music history. In 1979, they released Off the Wall, an album that blended pop, R&B, funk, and disco. The record produced massive hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, showcasing Michael's ability to innovate and dominate the charts. Off the Wall sold over 20 million copies worldwide, but this was just the beginning. In 1982, Michael Jackson released Thriller, an album that would change the landscape of music forever. The album's success was unprecedented, featuring hit after hit, including Billy Jean, Beat It, Wanna Be Startin' Something, and the title track, Thriller. It was during the Motown 25 television special in 1983 that Michael debuted the move that would forever be associated with him, the Moonwalk. Performing Billy Jean, he effortlessly glided across the stage, leaving the audience and the world in awe. The moment solidified Michael as not only a musical genius, but also a cultural icon whose influence would span decades. By the late 1980s, Michael Jackson had earned the title king of pop. His next albums, Bad 1987 and Dangerous 1991, produced hits like Man in the Mirror, Smooth Criminal, and Black or White. His tours were a spectacle, drawing tens of thousands of fans at every stop, and his music continued to break records. But while his public life was full of accolades and achievements, Michael's personal life was far more complicated. His appearance began to change drastically in the late 1980s, sparking widespread speculation and rumors. Michael later admitted to suffering from vitiligo, a skin condition that caused patches of his skin to lose pigmentation. The media's scrutiny and public fascination with his appearance only added to the pressures of his fame. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Michael Jackson's life took a darker turn. He became the subject of multiple legal battles, including allegations of child molestation that surfaced in 1993 and again in 2003. Although Michael settled out of court in 1993, the accusations would forever taint his legacy. The trials that followed were grueling and highly publicized, and Michael was eventually acquitted of all charges in 2005. In 2009, Michael Jackson announced a comeback, his This Is It tour, a series of concerts that was set to take place in London. Fans around the world eagerly awaited the return of the King of Pop. But tragically, the tour was never to be. On June 25, 2009, the world was stunned by the news that Michael Jackson had died at the age of 50. His death was ruled a homicide due to acute propofol and benzodiazepine intoxication, administered by his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. The loss of Michael Jackson sent shockwaves through the world, and tributes poured in from every corner of the globe.